Are you a woman who enjoys beautiful things? 34/5 Lifestyle has lovely, unique accessories for your everyday look and also for those special occasions. Click the link below to check out our latest accessory collection.
Hey, lady, are you a woman who loves the Lord and who also enjoys beautiful things? Well, if you are, then you are personally invited to join my exclusive Christian women's group. In this group, we chat about clothes, beauty, home decor, parenting, marriage, cooking, and of course, our Christian walk. It's Christian lifestyle all encompassing. So be sure to join by clicking the link below. I hope to chat with you soon. Now back to our show. About clothes, beauty, home decor, parenting, marriage, cooking, and of course, our Christian walk. It's Christian lifestyle all clothes, beauty, home decor, parenting, marriage, cooking, and of course, our Christian walk. It's Christian lifestyle all encompassing. So be sure to join by clicking the link below. I hope to chat with you soon. Now back to our show. Hey, ladies. Hey, ladies. Hey, ladies. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, let's see. There we go. Welcome, ladies, to another episode of Grown Lady Chat with me, your host, Dr. Sherunda Simone. All right, we have about a minute left before we hit 7 p.m. We're going to start on the dot, sharp, 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 because I know that you ladies have things to do. But I encourage you, if you're watching or listening to Grown Lady Chat, because it is primarily a talk show, you can be doing other things while you have episodes playing. All right, so we have a total of, I think we're in season 7 right now. If not, we're ending season 7, or we're ending season 6, about to start season 7. So welcome if it's your first time tuning in. So happy you're here. We're going to have a great chat today about blended families. And I am a part of a blended family. I have been for over a decade now. So I feel like I can add to this conversation. But this topic was actually submitted by one of our amazing Grown Lady Chat community members. You know who you are. So thank you so very much for the topic. And if there's something that you want to chat about in the future, ladies, email me below. Everything will be in the description box. If it's not already loaded right now, if you're watching on YouTube, it will be loaded right after the live is done. All right. So if you are tuning in, go ahead and drop in the chat. Let me go ahead and welcome you. Come on, let's let's share, and let's chat it up in the comments. All right. Welcome, welcome. Tonight we're talking about blended families, how to find and keep the peace. All right. And sometimes that is a whole job in and of itself. All right. If you know, you know. But before we get into it, I just want a random poll. This has absolutely nothing to do with today's conversation. However, I want to ask you, because this is what I would ask, my friends if we were all together. Do you refer to your women doctors as Miss, Ma'am, their name, honey, sweetie, or do you refer to them as doctors? Let me know in the comment section, because I have been dealing with this. It seems like it's more prevalent now, and I don't know why. I mean, yeah, I'm just not sure. I don't believe that every patient or patient's family member wants to be disrespectful. I don't believe that. And usually I'm not the kind of person where, you know, you have to call me by my title. But it's just interesting to me because I feel as though people are going out of their way not to acknowledge me as a doctor, and I don't know why. So drop in the comments and let me know. That is not the question of the day, but I do want to just do a quick poll before we jump into the conversation. When you are referring to your female doctors, do you use the title doctor, or are you more prone to do that only with your male doctors? I'm curious to know. Curious. Okay. All right, ladies. So today we're talking about how to find and keep the peace. I want for this to be a true conversation. All right. So chat this up in the comments. Even if you don't have direct experience, maybe you have dealt with it, by proxy with a family member or a friend. I want some insight, okay? Because we as a community, we are trying to figure out how to navigate this thing called life together. So yes, I'm a part of a blended family, a wonderful blended family, but we did have to work toward that. So I want to share my perspective. And of course, I want to hear from you as well. Okay. So drop in the comments, say hello, let me welcome you. A few ladies reached out to me and they're like, hey, I'm listening in on the chat and you don't say my name, you don't give me a shout out, but I can only see that you are here. I see the number of ladies watching. Hey, I'm so happy you're here, but I don't know you're here unless you drop in the chats. So yes, give thumbs up, give hearts, share, do all of that. But I don't know you're here, you specifically, unless you drop in the chat and let me know. Okay, so let's go ahead and chat it up. All right, this is the question of the day. You know that every episode I like to do a question of the day. This one, even if it's hypothetical, ladies, even if it's hypothetical, I want for you to answer the question of the day. Would you be okay with your ex or with your hubby or your ex? Hold on, let me edit this. The question is, would you be okay with your hubby working with his ex? Okay, so let me edit that. Would you be okay with your hubby working with his ex? All right, now, even if this is just a hypothetical for you, I want you to comment and let me know. All right, so the question of the day, ladies, would you be okay with your hubby working with his ex? And let's say that there is no option to transfer out. There is no option for them to, be in separate departments. How would you handle that? How would you handle that? And again, it could be hypothetical, but let's kick off this episode with a hot question, okay? Would you be okay? Have you dealt with this? Or do you know someone who's dealt with this where hubby was working with the ex? Personally, I would not be pleased about it. All right. I mean, obviously, if they have to work together, and the reason is not for what most people might think. You might be thinking, okay, you would be jealous or you'd be worried that she could snatch him back. It's not possible. Trust me, I know. But it's more so that it could cause discord in my family. You know what I'm saying? Like it could cause discord. So let me know in the private chat. Would you be okay with that? Even if it's just a hypothetical, ladies. Okay, answer the question of the day. Would you be okay with your hubby working with his ex-wife, ex-girlfriend, or whatever? I feel like there could be potential for some issues. What do you think? Let me know in the comment section. All right, remember, every time you interact with Grown Lady Chat, that's another opportunity for you to be entered in the random giveaway. I have done 2 giveaways so far, and that's just in the month of January. And I think that today I'm going to select another 2 winners. So after the close of this episode, I'll reach out to 2 ladies in Grown Lady Chat who have been interacting, commenting and sharing the content, and I will, bless them with some gifts. Could be a gift card. Who doesn't love a good gift card? Okay, Amazon or to your favorite store. It could be home decor items. It could be makeup or beauty or skincare products. Ladies, faith-based resources, books, personal development. I mean, these are all things that we enjoy as grown ladies, right? So make sure that you are chatting up in the comments. All right. Also, too, I'm going to share the invite link. All right. So I copy here. I'm going to share the invite link. So if you want to join in today's conversation, all right, and put in the comment section, boom, all you have to do is click that link and you can come on. And you don't have to come on even, let's say you have a comment about something else that we're talking about, then you can chat about that as well. Okay, so just click on the link. You can come on with your video and your audio, or just your video alone. Okay, or just your audio alone. I mean, you don't have to show your face, but of course we'd love to see your pretty face. All right, okay, ladies, so we went over some housekeeping. Don't forget, let me know if you're here for the first time. I like to chat with you, welcome you. And I am going to do a giveaway at the end of this episode. So make sure that you're in the comments, ladies, okay? Let's smash the like button too. I always forget to remind you to do that. Smash the like button. And answer the question of the day, even if it's a hypothetical. All right. Let's talk about just some ways that we can find and keep the peace in our marriage, okay? If in a blended family, I should say. So the first thing that I would say is that hubby sets the tone. Hubby sets the tone. Do you agree or disagree? And of course, I'm speaking, as a woman, right? Hubby sets the tone because it really depends on how he introduces you to the children, how things move forward, how he handles the new relationship with his ex. So hubby sets the tone, in my opinion. Let me know if you agree or disagree with that. The reason I say that is because if you and hubby aren't on the same page, then it could be catastrophic. All right. So let me know, ladies. Chime in the comment section. It's really, really quiet. Chime in on the comments, ladies. Can you hear me? I hope I'm not muted. Last time I was muted. Let me check my phone, because usually people message me like, we can't hear you. So if you can hear me, let me know. Chime in the comment section. If you can hear me, give me a yes. Give me something, a thumbs up, so that I know y'all are hearing me. Otherwise, I've been talking for 10 minutes, 13 minutes, and you can't hear me. But hubby sets the tone. And I remember when my husband and I, because he is a divorcee, and he and his ex-wife, they have 2 children. So I have 2 bonus babies. And when we first, started dating and got serious, that was something he told me. He's like, if we're going to do this, go all the way in this relationship, I want to make sure that you know that I'm backing you. I'm backing your mother skills, your parenting. This is before I had any children of my own, and I just remember thinking to myself, like, I am not ready to be a mother because I wasn't a mother at that time, and I remember thinking, I don't want to replace their mother. Let me know if you can relate to that. If you're, in a blended family and you felt almost like the pressure to be, or to replace, or to fill the gap, as far as like being a mother. And because his ex-wife is still living, then I don't have to fill that gap, right? But he initially told me at the very start, I'm going to set the tone for how things work. You are their stepmom. I like to call myself the bonus mom, and they're my bonus babies. Let me know how you refer to your bonus or your step kids, if you have that in your blended family. Also, too, you might have some insight if you are a part of a blended family, as far as your child in the blended family, right? Maybe you're an adult. No, you can give some insight. I did ask my bonus baby to both of them to give me just some insight and their own thoughts, and I will share some of that with you. It almost brought me to tears. And I said to Layla, she's the one who sent me, I was like, I wish that I had this conversation with you when, like face to face, because I think it's such, it would have really helped out, but I believe we can still have the conversation, even though, that we are so well developed in our relationship as, bonus mom and bonus baby. All right, ladies, chime in the comment section. Question of the day, even a hypothetical. I see some new ladies joining in. Let me know you're here so I can give you a proper welcome. Question of the day, hypothetical or real? Would you be okay with your hubby working with his ex? Would you? Would you? All right, I already gave my answer. I want to see what you ladies would say about that. Would you be okay with hubby working with his ex? Okay, all right. So this is the first thing, ladies. We've got to talk with hubby so that he sets the tone. So we have to talk it out. Set your goals and expectations together, right? Without having any, clouded input. Now you might be at a point where you'd have to backtrack, right now. Like, let's say you've been married, or you've been, you've been courting, dating for some time, and you haven't just sat down and discussed the parameters. You can still go back and do that. All right. You can still go back and do that and really decide how we're going to do this. What are your fears and your concerns, your expectations? For him, or for me, I told him one of my concerns was that I would be expected to be just like their mother, and that is impossible, right? And so he was like, no, they have a mom. They don't need you to be their mother. They need you to be their stepmom, their bonus mom, right? So I was like, okay, that took a lot of the pressure off of me. I was still, very nervous. I don't know if they knew that, but I was still very nervous because I was like, oh my gosh, it literally it just escalated quickly. I went from trying to keep my fish alive, and get through residency, to now being a stepmother, a bonus mom. So it escalated pretty quickly, but my husband was really good about reassuring me. And that's because we had long conversations, very genuine, frank, vulnerable conversations. And that is the first thing. Again, if you have to backtrack, that's all right. If you are already in the relationship and things are a bit rocky, you can still press the pause and reset button right now. Okay. Yeah, you can still press the reset button and do that now. All right. So the next thing I would say is, don't take it personally. And what I mean by that is, don't take the growing pains personally. Your husband and his children, they have had a whole life without you. And even as I say that, I can feel myself feeling some kind of way, like, you should have had a life without me. You should have had no life before me. It's irrational, but ladies, that's how we think sometimes, right? If you agree, let me know in the comments if you're going to be truthful with yourself. There are times when you think, you should not have had a life before me. You should have been waiting for me, but that's not realistic. We know what we're getting into when we decided to say I do and pursue a relationship. So don't take it personally when there are growing pains, because there will be growing pains. And I had to remind myself that it wasn't about me. Obviously there was some, fragment in their marriage, in their family. And so some of the ickies and some of the things that were uncomfortable, it had nothing to do with me. I was just the person in it, but it had nothing to do with me, right? Okay, wonderful. Hey, Max. Hello, hello. How are you? Welcome, welcome. Oh, it's Kita. Okay, perfect. Hey, how are you, Kita? So happy you're here. Drop in the comments. Answer the question of the day. Even if it's hypothetical, I'd love to hear your feedback. So happy you're here, my dear. So happy you're here. So I already went over one of the ways that we can keep peace in our blended family. The first thing is just to know that hubby sets the tone, right? And on the flip side of that, let's say you were the one with the family and hubby was coming into your family, or even you both are divorcees and you're coming together, then you both set the tone in the way of how you present each other to the children and how you present each other to the ex. So let me not forget that, because not all situations are in like mine, right? Maybe you had your own family divorced, or you're a widow, and then now you're, remarried in a blended family. So it really just needs to be both of you in whatever situation or setup. Both of you need to set the tone and how you introduce it to your children and the ex, because as much as, maybe it pains us to admit, when you marry someone, you marry their entire family, exes included. Okay, so not just the grandparents and the aunties and the cousins, and no, you marry the exes as well, because you are having to still co-parent in many situations. And so even though your spouse is the one handling certain things, right? Like in my situation, he does all the conversation with his ex-wife. I don't do it. I'm still having to deal with things on the back end, right? We're still having to make decisions together, and then he presents it, to his ex-wife. So, all right. Marquita, she said for her question of the day, her answer is, I would not be comfortable with my husband working with his ex, right? I wouldn't either. And like I said before you hopped on, the reason is because I just feel like, no, he couldn't, or she couldn't get him back. That's just not even a concern for me. There's no insecurity in that department. but it's more so it could just cause friction or issues because like it's not always an amicable experience between the two of them. So then that might transfer, you know what I'm saying, to my home life, right? So no, I agree with you. I would not be comfortable. All right, so talk it out, set the groundwork, and don't take it personally. And another thing too, and if you haven't done this and really sincerely prayed and asked God to help you with this, I would say it's so important because once I realized, like, okay, I'm going to marry this man, we are going to, be a family. I don't have any children of my own yet, but I love him so much. And these two little people, these two little humans, they're perfect strangers to me, but they are a part of him. And I prayed to God and I said, Lord, help me to form love for them that's unconditional, like they were my own. And I prayed that because I wasn't sure if I would be able to do that. I really didn't know. Again, I'd never been a mother. Now having children, I don't think that would have been a thought. But at that time it was. But maybe that is a thought or concern for you, right? How are you going to show up and love unconditionally, especially if things weren't amicable, especially if, things are a bit rocky with the ex, right? How are you going to do that? Because, they are half the ex and half your hubby. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I did. I prayed about that, and I said, God, open my heart. Show me ways that I can love them unconditionally. Show me ways that I can be that bonus mom that they need in whatever capacity they need, because I didn't know it. I don't think they knew it, because when I met my two bonus babies, they were both under the age of 10. So they were little fragile, little humans, All right. So, all right. Keita also responded, I included his children in my vows to my husband. Wow. That is beautiful. I think that right there is that is such a point that they will never forget. That is such a love gesture. That is a huge love gesture and a welcoming gesture. And ladies, that's something that I wish I had thought of. Wow. We did include them obviously in the wedding and in all the planning and everything, but to actually include them in your vows, I think that's beautiful. That is such a love move, and I know that, depending on their ages, they may or may not understand the deep depths of that, but as they get older, they will, if they aren't able to truly appreciate all of that, no, but as they get older, they will. That's beautiful. Yeah, so ask God to open up your heart and ask him to show you ways that you can be exactly what your bonus kids need. And of course, we're not forgetting about what hubby needs at all, but I believe the question that was submitted from the grown lady in the community was, how can we keep the peace, in the blended family with respect to, just parenting and the children and all, of course, right? So the next thing I would say is just be consistent. Be consistent. And this is something that I had to grasp really quickly because, again, I was not a mother. So I didn't realize just how cunning little kids can be, So you have to decide, are you their mom, whether it's stepmom or not? Or are you their friend? Because you can't be both. Now, after having children of my own, I realized that I cannot be friends with my children at this stage. Okay, I'm not talking about the bonus babies. They're nice and grown, so we are developing. It's still very much, mom, child, but it's more so, where we are friends, right? We're friends, but I still have authority. You know what I mean? But with my little ones, oh no, we can't be friends. I love them. I nurture them. We are friendly, very much cuddle. I'm here for you, protect you, but we can't be friends because the lines get blurred. So what I had to realize very quickly was that, you can be easily manipulated, if you're trying to be a friend versus being a mom, a stepmom. I think just having that delineation as soon as possible, it's so important, right, ladies? Right? Okay. Yeah. And so thank you, Keita, for that. It's definitely a no friend zone in parenting. I agree. It has to be. And I don't know about you, but it pains me sometimes, right? Because you're like, oh, I wish that I could cross that line, but we have to train them up in the way they should go so that when they're old, they won't depart. And if we train them to be our friends, then when it comes time to train them to be good humans and to be respectful, they're probably not going to listen because they're thinking you're my friend. We're on the same chum chum level, and absolutely not. Okay, we're not doing that, right? So we have to be consistent, ladies. Are you a friend or a mom? You need to pick mom. Okay, you need to pick mom because they already they have enough friends outside. And while you do want to be the fun parent, right? You do want to be like the pseudo fun auntie that pops in and all. You can't do that because there's going to come a time when you're going to have to be the parent and be the responsible one. And you're going to have to hurt their feelings. And if you don't start off with that understanding, then it's going to be very hard to backtrack. It's going to be very hard to reel in that relationship. And again, maybe you realize, ooh, kind of already far gone. You can stop. You can stop and you can do an about face and you can start today. You can start today with putting, that barrier of the no friend zone. Okay. And again, now that my bonus babies are much older, like I said, we're entering the territory where we can, cut it up, but respectfully. You know what I'm saying? Like there's only so much that you can, but we're still, we're getting there. So I think that's good. Yes, this is, and that's what I was talking about. Yeah. So this is something that can happen. I found myself being less firm though with my bonus children than my biological. Absolutely. And I can attest to that. I don't know if they would agree, but I can attest to that. And there is some there. Yeah. How do I handle this? When I catch myself, right? Then I try to remember, I'm doing this to make them better, just like I would for my children that I birthed, right? And you do that, you are hard on them, or you're strict on them because you want the best for them, because you want to protect them. So when I catch myself, especially when they were growing up, like I said, now they're young adults, but I would be like, look, if since you truly love them and since you develop this unconditional love, treat them just as you would your biological children, because you have love for them, because you want the best for them. And just as how my biological children might be upset sometimes when they get in trouble, they don't understand it, maybe they're not pleased with me, but I get over it, they get over it, the same way your bonus kids will get over it. It might take longer, right? It might take longer, but they will get over it, and they will come to respect and appreciate it, because children need boundaries. Children respond to boundaries. Yes, they might buck the force at times, but that is subconsciously, that is how they know that someone cares, And I've had conversations with children, and they've said, well, it's so different when I see how you are a bit more, like you have rules in your house. There are things that you can and cannot do. And so, but they grew up very broad. They could do whatever they wanted. And the end result is that they did not feel as loved and cared for and protected, right? So, that's something to be mindful of. All right, ladies, if you are tuning in, be sure to drop in the comments and let me know. Also, too, I'm going to share the live chat. If you want to come on, all right, if you want to come on and you want to, share your piece in real time, all right, then do that. You can come on with just your audio, or you can come on with audio and video, all right? So I've dropped it in the chat. So you guys just click on that link. It's all you have to do, and then I will click on your icon and you come on in and we chat. Okay, I did see a comment though. Let me see. Yes, it can. That little sass, absolutely. Yeah, it can. It can, Marquita. That little bit of sass, it's there. Even the guys, the boys can give sass as well. Not just the girls. They can give their own version of sass. So it can be difficult. I agree. I absolutely agree. And we just handle it. Again, that's what it goes back to, you and hubby coming together under the same parenting umbrella, because I know for a fact one thing that has made it much easier to parent my bonus babies is the fact that my husband gave me permission to parent them, right? So of course I've never laid hands on them, nothing like that, but I have been given permission to be their mother figure when they're in my presence, right? And so he never once questioned what I was doing, or looked at me like, oh, you shouldn't have done that. He supported whatever I was doing, and that gave me so much comfort knowing that he was going to have my back. And same thing, if you're the one in the blended family and your husband needs permission, he needs you to okay and co-sign you disciplining your blended children. You know what I'm saying? Your kids. He needs that because it's really important. Without that, you're going to always have dissension. You're going to always have, back and forth, and children will pit one parent against the other, biological or bonus. Okay, so we have to be crafty as adults. We have to be crafty as adults. Okay. All right, ladies, if you're coming in, be sure to answer the question of the day: hypothetical or real? Even if it's never been your situation, would you be okay with your hubby working with his ex? Okay, would you be okay? Remember, every time you answer the question of the day, that's another opportunity for you to be entered into the random monthly giveaways. Today is not so random because I'm going to choose 2 winners at the end of today's episode. All right, so make sure, if you haven't already, smash the like button. All right, smash the like button. I see, we have viewers. Smash the like button, spam the comment section. Okay, make sure you do that. And of course, if you want a specific shout out, you have to comment. Otherwise, I can't see that you're here. Okay, I know that you're here. I'm happy you're here, but I don't know who is here. Okay, so comment. All right. Okay, so we have another response to the question of the day from Joy. She says, no, I wouldn't be okay with him working with his ex. You're in good company. All right, Joy, welcome to Grown Lady Chat. Welcome to the live. We go live every Thursday at 7 p.m. Okay, so welcome. So happy to have you. And Joy says, no. I feel like she put an absolutely in front of that. She says, absolutely. I'm going to ad lib. Tell me if I'm right, Joy. Absolutely no. I wouldn't be okay with him working with his ex. Yeah. So far, that is the consensus. And, again, I don't think it is for concern of, I don't think it's for concern of insecurity. Okay. I think it's more so that we just don't want the drama. There's drama. Okay. Someone is telling me that they're hearing feedback. Ladies, are you hearing feedback? Maybe it's something I changed. Have you been hearing feedback the whole time, ladies? Okay, wonderful. All right, Joy, I'm glad I was able to fully express your sentiments. Are you hearing feedback, ladies? Let me know. I turned down my little mic. Usually I have my lapel mic, but in case somebody wants to come on in, as like with audio and video, then I didn't use my lapel mic. So my audio quality is usually much better. If you watch any of my Monday episodes, you know that I have crisp, clean audio, but because I want to give you the option, okay, because I want to give you the option to come on in. Okay, join me. All right, I can put you on the little stage right here. You can hide your face and all of that. So I didn't use my lapel mic. Okay, so you ladies are saying no, you haven't heard any feedback. No, it's okay, perfect. All right, maybe it was just a fluke. Okay, maybe it was just a fluke. All right, ladies. So we talked about a few things. We said hubby and wifey, depending on the blend. Okay, you both set the tone. Number 2, don't take it personally. Okay, they had a whole life before you. I'm talking to myself here. I'm talking to me. I need to remember that. Okay, don't take it personally. It's not about me. And then be consistent. You can't be friend and mommy. You have to choose one. All right. And this one right here, ladies, this one right here, I think that this is probably more difficult for ladies to do, but I found it extremely helpful. And let me know if you agree. Stay neutral in front of the bonus babies. I know. It's not always easy, ladies, but we have to stay neutral. I'm not saying you can't have an opinion. I'm not saying that you can't speak your mind, okay? Because if Dr. Sherunda, I don't hold back. I've grown into tact, okay? Praise God. I've grown into tact, but I don't hold back. However, if you can, stay as neutral as possible. All right, because your bonus children, they're watching and they're seeing, and no matter what, they are going to defend their mother. And they should, right? Because that is their prerogative. So they're going to defend their mother. And I don't care what she did, what she didn't do. It doesn't matter if you say something and they take it as you being offensive to their mom. That is going to definitely wedge a huge, huge divide between you. Okay, and it definitely can disrupt the family. All right, so even though it says Matt, ladies, it's Marquita. She says, I actually do that well. And I'm sassy. Yeah, right. Exactly. So there you go. So even with a little bit of sass, you can still be neutral. And, I'm not saying that you can't share. You can't, it's not that you can't share, it's not that you can't give your opinion, but maybe save it just for pillow talk. We know about pillow talk, right? Save it for pillow talk because they're going to defend their mother and they're going to hold that against you. Again, when I met my bonus babies, they were both under the age of 10. So they were still very fragile. They didn't quite know what was happening. Like I said, a little bit later in the episode, I'm going to read to you what one of my bonus babies sent when I asked her opinion. I said, hey, I'm having this live tonight. And she wanted to be on. She said she would have definitely done that. I know she would have done that for me. However, she had a late class. She's in college, had a late class, then she had to work late. So she wasn't able to be on the live. But she did send in her input, her thoughts. And like I said, when I read it initially, I almost began to cry because I was like, wow, so much was going on in her heart. And I believe that we need to take that into consideration too. Our children, bonus babies, biological, they're going through this as well. It's not just you and hubby and the ex and the new husband, the new wife. No, it's the children as well. And so, just hearing her feedback, yeah, so I'll share that in just a moment. And she wanted me to share that with you. So I'm really happy to be able to do that. And it will definitely give you some insight in your own situation and maybe think about what's happening, in the lives of your bonus children. And maybe even your biological children as well, because I know my biological children, they have so many questions, they want to understand, well, how come they have two mommies, but then we only have one mommy, and how, they're very inquisitive. And I don't know about you, ladies, how much do you share and when do you share it? If you have little ones, in your blended family, as needed, I'm divulging the information. I try not to give too much because a lot of it they just don't need to know, and until they understand the dynamics of life and marriage and things fall apart and all, then, I try to reserve sharing too much. Okay. All right, so Marquita chimed in, depending on the age range, the dynamics and the relationship you build with them is different because some are not that welcoming. Yep, that is true. That is very true. That is very true. And I'm speaking from just my experience, but also other conversations I've had with other, ladies, right? It is not always that easy to bridge that gap. But we'll talk about some things, here in just a moment. Because that's a real thing. That is definitely a real concern. So we'll talk about that. All right. Joy said that I try to remember that they have a lot to balance. Yep. And it can be hard when there is info, that they don't. Right. And again, so we give them grace. We give ourselves grace, we give hubby grace, but we also have to give the bonus babies grace as well, because we know so much more. We know the pillow talk. We know the behind the scene conversations, sometimes the struggles that happen, the power struggles, and, all of those things that are going on behind the scenes that you don't want to share with them because it doesn't need to be something that they know, but not knowing is also, or can also hurt them because they're thinking, okay, it should be a certain way, but they don't have the full picture, So yeah, we just have to remember that they are dealing with a lot and they don't know everything. I think that's another good point. I also, something that really helps me is, and I talked about this at the top of the hour, is that, we're not going to replace, mom. God forbid she's passed away. It's still not a replacement because we can't replace their mother, right? And I think for me, that was something that I was so worried about, like I don't know how. I remember when he told me, my husband told me that, he has children. And the first thing was like, I don't want to replace their mom. Like, I can't do that. It was just, the thought was very overwhelming to me. And when I told him, he was like, they don't need you to replace their mother. Their mother is still living down the street. She's good, And I was like, oh, that's true, And even, I've had conversations with other women, and they are in a blended family on account of death, right? So the previous wife passed away. No hard feelings, nobody's angry. They're all actually sad and kind of mourning the passing. And I think that is another extremely difficult situation to be in, right? Because there's no anger, there's no animosity. In fact, she felt as though she was being compared to a perfect ghost, right? Especially because her bonus baby was very young when her biological mom passed away. So now she's being compared to this perfect woman who no longer is alive. She didn't make any mistakes, because when she passed away, her child was too young to even remember, right? So I think that's a whole nother dynamic, it being in a blended family, depending on how the blend happens, whether it's divorce, or whether it's a breakup, or whether there's death involved. So I think we should, give everybody grace in that situation, and just realize that you don't have to be a replacement, lady. You're not supposed to be a replacement. Okay. You are your own person, and you bring your own skills and your own, beautiful spirit. You bring your own set of your own personality, right? To the family. And I think that should be celebrated, and you should be okay with that. All right. Okay, ladies, if you haven't already, go ahead and answer the question of the day. Don't forget to smash the like button, ladies, and spam the comment section. All right. Please do that. That helps to push the video out to as many women as possible. All right. So we want to make sure that not only are we getting this good healing conversation, but there are other ladies as well. And if you can think of anybody else in your circle who would benefit from this conversation, share it with them. Okay. Do them a favor and share it with them. All right. So let me know. Are you finding value so far in this conversation? Let me know. I would love to hear if you're finding value in the conversation. All right. Now we're going to move on. There are a couple of other things I want to talk about. Resisting the urge to overcompensate, which is a little bit of what, Marquisa alluded to before, is that sometimes you're less harsh or you're less strict on the bonus babies, because you're trying to almost walk on eggshells. You don't want to rock the boat too much, because remember, they still have a relationship with their biological mother. Okay, so you also don't want that upset. So you're like, maybe you're walking on eggshells, but try to resist the urge to overcompensate. And I found myself doing that, especially in the beginning part of the year, is just trying to, buy the most, do the most, be the happiest, be the most, jovial all the time. And it got very tiresome. It wasn't authentic. It wasn't realistic. I couldn't keep it up, and it wasn't doing any good for our relationship, right? Just as a family, because I was doing it because I was worried that they were so fragile that if I did anything to upset them, they would break. And whereas I do think we have to be mindful as bonus mommies, again, whatever environment you're in, it still warrants us to be authentic and genuine, and to start how we plan on finishing. Right. So overcompensation, I had to come over, overcome that, because I was definitely finding myself trying to be like the perfect goody, never mad. It's okay. You broke the vase that I really love and I cherished, and it was like a family heirloom. It's okay. Even though you were throwing the ball in the house, I told you not to do it. I mean, and that's just like a made up story, but I'm just saying, I found myself doing a lot of that. Okay. So both ladies, you can agree that yes, it happens, but just resist that urge. Resist the urge, because it's not doing any good. The next thing I would say is, you might have to say and show love first. And you might have to be persistent. And you might experience some awkward moments, right? You might experience some pushback, some refusal to cooperate. I remember, and they'll be okay with me sharing this. There were times when I would, hug or going to hug them, and they were like little stiff pieces of wood. Like they didn't want to embrace too much. They didn't want to enjoy it too much, And now I realize why. I didn't know then, but going back to my previous point, I tried not to take it personally because again, you don't know me well enough to not like me. You know what I'm saying? Like I've only known you for like a year, 2 years. And at that time I was only seeing them during the summers, right? And so I was like, it's not me. And I think that's kind of the way I live my life. If I notice that somebody is acting standoffish toward me, I think of myself like, did I do something to them? And I really do. I sit and think, I'm not perfect. Maybe I missed something. Maybe I, spoke out of turn, hurt their feelings or whatever. So I'm always trying to think, okay, did I do something that maybe upset them? And if I go through my Rolodex of, events together and I ask Holy Spirit, did I do something that could have offended this person? Knowingly, unknowingly, intentionally, unintentionally. And if I get a 0, you didn't do anything, then it's not me, it's you. So that's the same way I approached the relationship with my bonus kids. I didn't do anything to you. So in my, for me, it's not about me. I don't take it personally, right? So, I try not to hold it against them, or I didn't hold it against them. And instead I just showed love. I pushed back, when they were like little stiff boards and I would give a hug, I would just hug them anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're my kid. I'm hugging you. And when I, had my own children, if I'm showing them all this affection and I'm not doing the same to you, that looks crazy. That is not godly at all. So I'm going to hug it. Now, if they say, okay, you're in my, that's a boundary that I don't want for you to, well then, okay, I respect that. Right. So I'm not going to hug them and they truly don't want to be hugged. But but if it's just more so they're uncomfortable because they're thinking, who is this lady? I want to show them that I'm someone who loves you. I'm going to be here for you. I'm going to show up for you. Then yes, I'm going to show them that affection, and I'm going to work through those awkward moments, because they will happen. Again, I'm not going to overstep someone's boundary. If they say no, it's a no. But that wasn't the case, in my situation. Okay, we have a question here. Oh, you know what? Why is this showing up this way? I should be. Okay, do you want the kids to call you mom? It I have I have gone to one side and the other side. I've kind of flip-flopped is what I'm trying to say on that answer. I've kind of flip-flopped. Initially, it hurt my feelings that they didn't call me mom. They called me Miss Sherunda. And even to this day, sometimes they'll still say Miss Sherunda. Initially, it made sense before we got married, right? I was Miss Sherunda. I was a woman in their life, right? In their lives, but I wasn't family. But then as, after we got married and all, it hurt me that they didn't call me mom. But then as I kind of grew more and just realized just more about being in a blended family and what it really means and truly how many components and moving parts, I stopped being hurt by that and just accepted it. And then, interestingly enough, when I stopped being hurt is when, I start to hear them ever so often, say, oh, mom. And I'm like, who, me, you're calling me mom? And I'm like, hey, here I am, so I think once I stopped worrying about it or stopped being offended is when they actually started to do it. And it's not all the time, but even just recently, one of the bonus babies was here at home, and I heard her on the phone talking with one of her friends, and she was like, oh, I'm about to go shopping with my mom. And it, like, even now as I'm saying it, like, it kind of makes me want to cry, because just tears of joy to see how far we've come, over the years. So you're gonna make me cry. Yeah. But yeah, that's the answer to that. Initially, I was hurt, then I got over it, and then they started calling me mom, and now it's wonderful. All right. So Marquita says, out of respect for their mom, I would want them to call me Kita. And for many women, that makes sense. For many women, that is how they feel. Personally, for me, I didn't see it as, or I don't see it as a disrespect, because it's like, I call my mother-in-law mom, I call her mom, mama. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't take away from my mother. And I know she doesn't feel slighted. So I understand that perspective. And yeah, I understand that perspective as well. I understand that. Okay. So are your biological kids jealous or vice versa? I think it can go both ways. In from what I've seen. Let me know in the comment section, ladies. Do you notice that? Do you notice any jealousy from your biological kids or your bonus kids? I think I have noticed moments from each, jealousy on both sides. But I think inherently, kids are very comparison driven. You gave him more ice cream, you didn't let me do this, you let her do that. So I think in general, I don't know if it's more so. I don't know if it's blended family related or just kid related. Okay, another question here. Do you spank the bonus babies? No, I don't. I don't do that. Mm-mm. I don't spank them. Another question. I saw that with my daughters, but not my sons. What do you mean? The Let's see. What did you see? Can you clarify? Oh, jealousy. Is that what you're talking about? You saw jealousy. Okay, maybe that's what you're talking about. Yeah, like I said, I can think of instances on mostly both sides. The jealousy, right? Yeah, I can see instances on both sides. Um, yeah, I don't even know my bonus son. I don't know if I've ever seen. Again, it's just from the outside looking in. I can't see his heart, but more so just hurt. Maybe just being hurt by certain things and certain experiences that he didn't have, that our kids, biological kids have. So I think, or just longing, wanting that. I don't know if he was truly jealous. I don't know. That's not really an emotion that he emotes. So, as far as I'm concerned, but yeah. Okay. So these are some great questions. Great questions, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Thank you so very much. These are really, really great questions. Does anybody want to hop in? Even if you just have a comment about something else, you can always join in. All right. I will share the invite link again. All right. I'll share that invite link. Just click on that and I will enter you into the arena. You don't have to show your face. You can just chat. Okay. You can have no picture of yourself, just your voice. All right. And you can share. Oh, and I also had a question, a random question at the top of the hour, not related to this conversation, but how do you refer to your female doctors? Do you call them doctor so-and-so or Mrs. or, sweetheart, lady? What do you do when you are talking to or talking about your female doctors? Please let me know, because that's something that I've been dealing with, and I don't know why. I don't know why all of a sudden it's like my patients just refuse. Like they're just finding other ways to say Dr. Josie. They don't want to say that. I don't know. So I figured, maybe I'm not the only one dealing with it. And again, I'm not someone who, you have to say, give me all my accolades. No, but I'm just wondering, what is it? Like, why is it so difficult for people in 2024 to acknowledge a woman doctor? But you'll talk to me about another doctor, like, oh yeah, I saw Dr. So-and-so yesterday, and then he came, told me to come see you, sweetie. And I'm like, interesting. Or like, they'll send a message, right? And it will say, oh, well, I got the report from Dr. So-and-so. And then they'll say, hi, Sherunda. And I'm like, that's interesting. My name is not very easy to spell. And so you had to look at my business card a couple of times to get the spelling properly. Whereas Josie is Joscy. You can just say, hi, Dr. Josie. So I'm just wondering why. What is it? What is it that, maybe people just want to be familiar? I am very pleasant. I must say, all glory be to God. I do have a very welcoming bedside manner. compared to most other doctors I've worked with and seen, and from patient report. Okay, so I don't know if it's that, maybe I'm just so down to earth that they're like, oh, hey girl, thanks for saving my limbs. Thank you. But we're not going to call you doctor because we could just see you sitting around the table, eating with us and eating apple pie. I don't know what it is. I don't know. Okay, so let's see. All right, Joy. Thank you. Thank you, Joy. You call them doctor. Please continue to do so. Okay, thank you. We worked hard for that title. Again, it's not about being a snob. I just don't understand. I just don't understand because I rarely, if have ever, seen that with male colleagues. I mean, I've even had where people will look at a male colleague standing beside me and like say, hey, good morning, Dr. So and so, and then look at me like say, oh, hello, Josie. Really? You couldn't just say that? You know what I'm saying? Like, why? Why? I don't get it. Okay. I call them Doc 2. Thank you. Thank you very much. Continue to do that. And then it's a blatant lack of respect. You see, and I'm trying really hard not to just say that and say that everybody's just being disrespectful, because there are some people where I feel as though they are, in their hearts, they're like kind. You know what I'm saying? And they want to they want to show their appreciation for me, and so they'll say, oh sweetheart, and thank you so much for what you've done. I mean, these are the same people, people who make me stuff, and around Christmas time I get cakes and all. So I'm hoping, not all of them, I'm just saying in general, I'm hoping that's not the case in all situations. But like I was talking about this with my mother. She is an attorney, and she said, oh yeah, people rarely give her that title. Like, it's like, this is, they never say Attorney Smith. They'll just say Darlene. And I'm just like, really? I mean, yeah, she said rarely does she ever hear her title. So I don't know. Okay. I know he's joking, but I'm going to put it on there anyway. Okay. I know he's joking. He does not. No, you don't. Lies you tell. No, you don't. You do not do that, sir. Yes, it is ridiculous. It is. And it's becoming more and more obvious. And it's to the point where I'm not the only one seeing it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not the only one seeing it. There are, my coworkers are seeing it as well. Call You say call it what it is, sister. I'm trying, Marquita. I'm trying not to just say that it has to do with lack of respect. I'm trying. I really am. But anyway, okay, let's get back to the topic. But thank you so much for chiming in on that. All right. So we say that, you sometimes you're going to have to be the bigger person. You are the adult, okay, and show love first. You know, they push back. It's going to be awkward, but that's what we have to do to solidify, because you want for them to know, this is the next thing, you want for them to know that you're going to stick around. You want for your biological children to know, okay, this is for real. They really are part of our family. We really are blended. Okay. And so that's something else I do as well. It's like I refer to my bonus kids as your sister, your brother. Like, I have people ask me all the time, how many kids do you have? I have 5 total in a blended family, right? So 3 biological and 2 bonus. So I'm very cognizant of incorporating them as they are truly a part of this family. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes it's you having to continue to drill that point home and to reinforce that, because there will be times when children themselves just want to divide. But you say, oh, no, we don't play that game. It's all for one for all, right? Your last name is Josie. We are sticking together, so we really have to drive that point home. And then the last thing would be bridging the gap. Sometimes you're going to have to bridge the gap. And what this means is you might have to bridge the gap between hubby and his kids from his previous marriage, depending on, or previous relationship, depending on the way in which the relationship ended, right? Sometimes you're going to have to put your own feelings aside and say, okay, what is better for the children? What is better for our family moving forward? And it is not always easy. Sometimes, especially because we want to protect our hubby. We want to get scrappy for our man, right? And so you don't always want to say, well, maybe you shouldn't be doing it this way, or, think about the long-term impact that this will have on the kids, but sometimes you have to do that. You have to bridge the gap. And in the long run, your hubby will be grateful for it. Your bonus babies will be grateful for it. Your family will be better off. And know that in the moment, it is difficult. In the moment, it hurts. It's hard. But it will all pay off. And I have just one example, right? One example here to show you or to share with you. I'm going to read it. As I pull this up on my phone, go ahead and drop in the comments. Okay. Go ahead and drop in the comments if you haven't already answered the question of the day. All right. And don't forget to smash the like button and spam the comment section. All right. Let's see. Do we have anything in the private chat? No. Okay. Comments. All right. I think I'm all caught up on the comments, but I'm going to read to you what my bonus baby Layla sent. I believe my bonus son, he is still at work, so he wasn't able to message me, but she was able to put something together in between her classes. So I was, oh my gosh. And she said, I really wish that I could have been there, but I was supposed to work in the morning and be off by 5:30, but then her manager got some things confused, so she wasn't able to be on the call. Okay. So here's what she said and what I asked her to do to give you some context. I asked her just to give me some of the struggles she encountered as a daughter in a blended family and what are the some of the thoughts that she dealt with or that she deals with and what advice she would give to other kids in her position. And I feel as though this is going to be helpful to you hearing this because just reading it, I'm sure this is a sentiment of a lot of children in blended families. Okay, so she said, being a daughter in a blended family, I have struggled with change and fear. I was young when I met my stepmom. I did not understand what was going on at that time. I was just happy that I got to spend time with my dad. I wanted to ask him, why is this lady here? But I was too scared to ask any questions because of fear that he wasn't going to give me the answer that I wanted to hear. When my father and stepmother got married, I was happy, but also felt abandoned at the time, even though I didn't show it on my face. I especially felt abandoned when my dad moved out of Pittsburgh. I developed the thought that she took my father away from me, even though that was not the case. But being young, I did not have time to process my emotions because everything was moving so fast. I also never realized that my dad was going to have more children and thought my brother and I were going to be the only ones. I had to get used to not being the baby of the family anymore and my father's only daughter. In movies, you always see the parent asking the child, how would you feel if you had another sibling? But this is not reality. But this is reality, not a movie. So we weren't asked that. It kind of just happened. Although I am very happy that it did happen, back then I was not as excited because I didn't know how to be an older sibling and I didn't want to do that. Something I also struggled with was listening to another parent. I've always been respectful of other adults. I just wasn't used to another woman being around and telling me what to do who was not my mom who birthed me. I also had trouble knowing what to call my stepmom because I didn't want to call her mom and then feel like I was being disrespectful to my mom that had birthed me. Some advice I would give to other kids in my position is that it might be tough in the beginning, but in the end, it's going to be worth it. Even though you might be afraid of change, try to embrace it because you never know what kind of blessing is about to fall on you, as Tasha Cobbs has said. I now have younger siblings that literally mean the world to me, and I cherish every moment that I get to spend with them. I also have an amazing stepmother that is always there for me and gives me great advice when I need it most. I honestly don't know what I would do without my blended family, and I'm so thankful that my dad made the choice to marry my stepmom because now I have another woman in my life that I can call mom and that shows me unconditional love. And when I read that, I'm probably going to shed some tears later, and I'm trying so hard. I'm trying so hard. And when she sent it to me earlier today, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm in the middle of my day. I shouldn't have opened this, because I think she expresses so many things that our bonus children are feeling, and maybe even our biological children, you know, because I had my children after we were married and all. So they kind of entered into this world just understanding that they had two siblings that they saw, only a couple months out of the year, or like holidays, and then we were blessed that eventually, both of them did come to live with us. And so we truly had like, one big blended family. And now, like I said, they're off doing great things, young adult things. But, I don't think sometimes, especially as parents and depending on the relationship dynamics between the adults, sometimes we forget that for them it really is just moving quickly. You might have been dating and then you progress to courtship and then you progress to marriage and all, but for them it's like overnight. They had one home life, one expectation, and it totally got turned on its head. So I just wanted to end with that. And thank you so much for submitting. I know that she watches the episode, so thank you so much for submitting that. I will forever cherish that. And you know, to know that you feel that way after all these years. Again, it has not always been easy, but I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for our family. And just for what you and Junior bring to our family. And I know the kids love you so very much, the little ones. I mean, it's like, oh my gosh, she's coming, he's coming. They get so excited. So thank you. It really was so beautiful. It really was. It really was. And so I'm going to put all of the comments up on the screen so that she can see when she's watching back. Yeah, God is so good. God is really good, ladies. And, being in a blended family, it takes a special kind of woman. It takes a special kind of man. It takes special children, because it is not for the faint of heart at all. It's not for the faint of heart. And, sometimes you wonder, would you do it again if you knew all that you knew? Yeah, I would. Because on the back end, like Layla said, it's worth it. You can't anticipate all of the downs, but you can expect the ups, and it's worth it. And I'm saying that with wonderful bonus babies. I mean, I think I've truly been blessed with some really wonderful bonus babies, but we've had to work through a lot, and we've had to push through a lot. And so I'm just so grateful. I'm so grateful. But ladies, let me know, how did you find today's chat? Was it helpful? Did you I know that the comment section has just been so active this episode, and I'm really appreciative. If you're catching this on the replay, ladies, please, you can still chime in. Your comments will still be noted. They will still be counted in future giveaways. All right. I want to let you know about our February lineup. We do have some episodes already, like in the works. So this is going to be great. We have on February 5th, we're going to see a live chat. Well, it won't be live for you, but it will be a chat that I had with a professional organizer. Okay. And she's going to show us how we can get our lives all the way together. So make sure you tune in for that on February 5th. We have a guest for Grown Lady Chat, and she is going to give us some really practical ways, impactful ways that we can be more organized in our lives. Okay, February 5th, tune in for that. And then also in the month of February, How I Met My Hubby. So you're finally going to be able to see Mr. Josie up close and personal. I'm still deciding if I want to make that a live chat, because Mr. Josie is what I like to call a loose cannon. Okay, I don't know. I don't know if we can have him on a live chat, because yeah, that could get very interesting. Let me know. Do you want it to be a live or like a pre-recorded video that I can perfectly edit? Let me know in the comment section. But I think that will be good for the month of February. The month of love and all that jazz. Also to, we're celebrating, Black History Month as well. So I think that will be fun. I'm not sure what I can do for that. If you have any ideas, let me know. But we do have some episodes already lined up. Okay, so February 5th, professional organizer. Okay, you trust me, you're going to want to watch this episode. Plus, there's a discount code that comes with it, because she's going to get our lives together. Okay, so make sure you tune in for that. And then How I Met My Hubby. Okay, somebody says, oh, all right. Thank you so much, Joy. Thank you very much. I'm so glad that you benefited. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So Marquisa says, I know my husband and I are blessed to have 7 children we were given by God. But thank you so much for this episode. Oh, you are so welcome. Thank you for being here. I'm so happy, so grateful. All right. And Marquisa also said, bring him on. Bring him on live? You guys really want Mr. Josie live? I don't know if you're ready. I don't know if I'm ready. I have to pray on it. Let me know, even if you're catching the replay. Should we bring Mr. Josie on live or edited? Live or edited? That could be interesting. All right, ladies. Let's see. Okay, now is the time. If you have anything more to say, go ahead and chime in the comments. If you're watching on Facebook, make sure to hop over onto YouTube, okay, and make sure you're subscribed. And if you're watching on Sherunda Simone YouTube, make sure you hop to Grown Lady Chat, okay, because that's where I put all the episodes, every live, every short, every pre-recorded episode. You're going to get everything there, every community post. You won't miss anything if you are subscribed and locked in on the Grown Lady Chat YouTube channel. Okay, so make sure you do that. All right, so we'll see. I'm interested to look back and see what people say. Bring him on or do an edited episode. I'm interested to see what y'all have to say about that. I'm interested. Okay, ladies. So that's all I have for tonight's episode. This has been so wonderful, very therapeutic. Wow, I feel so just light and excited about just growing further in my blended family. And I hope you've been inspired as well. So thankful for the feedback and the insight. I enjoy these conversations. And if you do, remember that we have a Grown Lady Chat every Monday at 7 p.m. and every Thursday at 7 p.m. And on Thursdays, it's always going to be live, okay? Live and direct. All righty, ladies. So until Monday, remember, I am Dr. Sherunda Simone, and I will either see you at the top or from the top. You decide. Bye. Oh, wait, not yet. Hold on. Okay, wait. Let's wait. I would say, thank you, Keita, for this remark. I would say for any single women, do not let the fact that someone you love has children stop you from moving forward with getting married and having a blended family. Absolutely. 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 That was my situation. And that just moment of like, uh-oh, it totally was wiped out. And I would do it all over again. It's, and I'm going to, I'm blessed. I'm grateful. So thank you so much for saying that. That is wonderful. That's a perfect way to end today's episode. So thank you so much, ladies, for being here. And we'll chat more again next episode. Bye.